Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about some of my most used drugstore products as of more recently. These are all products that have remained right here on my vanity that I continue to reach for, not only over and over again, but over some of their high-end counterparts. So tons of great options here that are a great price, lots of cruelty-free in here, and I've used all of these in recent videos if you're up to date. I'll link a few down below if you'd like to refer to those later on to see them in action. And if you love drugstore makeup, be sure to subscribe because I do too. And as if you're curious about this look, I did film it. It is on Instagram. It is linked down below. I used the Salt and Pepper collection from Milani along with the Urban Decay Naked stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So firstly, let's kick it off with two foundations that I really love. And like I said, not all of these are like brand new products. Some of them are products I discovered like a year and a half ago, but I keep reaching for them, which I think makes it even more valuable than something that's new that I'm really excited about. So the first product is a foundation that I've been wearing a ton since I got it, and this is the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Foundation. I've done a full dedicated review wear test on this with flash photo test, show you how it looks at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day in natural light, and I really love this. It mimics like a high-end foundation for me. It just has a really gorgeous look and feel. I feel like it could be suitable for all skin types. If you're really oily, you may need to do some extra mattifying, but I don't find it to be like a slippery foundation. It just has a gorgeous look on the skin. I did also review it side-by-side comparison with their Glow foundation. That's the second iteration of this, so I will link that down below too. And then this was a foundation that I reviewed recently that I actually really like, and I feel like in watching back my review, I didn't say how much I liked it, and in looking back at the footage I was like, wow, it does really look great at the end of the day. It's super affordable, great shade range, and that is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. So if you missed e.l.f. week, I did 3 videos all on e.l.f. including reviewing this foundation. In this video I also compared the hydrating camo concealer to the original camo, so you can see that all in action again, wear test, flash photo test, but I thought that this looked really gorgeous. This is a great shade match for me in Honey. They did recently change around the shade matches, or the shades, sorry, so be sure to keep that in mind if you're looking up reviews or anything and you're trying to match yourself. I do have the newer, I don't think it's necessarily a newer formula, but definitely they added some new shades in there, and it is $6. Both of these are a little bit less than a full fluid ounce, but great foundations. Next, I have a mascara primer and 2 mascaras. Sometimes I wear all 3 of these combined, which I did in a recent video. If you are not a false lash wearer, I definitely recommend picking up a lash primer. It's a pretty easy, quick step. So I have been loving the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. My other favorite is from L'Oreal. I think the Drugstore almost on all accounts makes better lash primers than high-end. I've tried Dior, I've tried Marc Jacobs. Have I tried any other ones? But either way, this is better, and it's $4.99 and cruelty-free. So if you have never used a lash primer before, you use it like a mascara, you coat it on your lashes, I would recommend putting less than more. Maybe give 10-15 seconds in between putting on your mascara, and I really do feel like it just adds a little something. And again, if you're not a lash wearer, but you're looking to kind of boost your lashes, I recommend that. And another thing you can do is combine mascaras. I feel like that's how I get a really good lash look sometimes. So I have been using this non-stop since I got it in January. It is the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. Maybelline makes great mascaras, the Drugstore makes great mascaras, but this is their newest one and I'm loving it. Tons of volume, tons of length, no smudging, no flaking, and if you really want to amp it up, I love this on its own, but as a layering mascara too. If you pair something with like a fluffier, more traditional mascara brush that gives tons of volume with something that has a more plastic bristle brush, I feel like that just gives that perfect volume lengthness. So this has been delightful. I've been using this for over 2 years now, not this exact tube, but this formula. It is the Rimmel Wonderfully Real. Again, all of these are great on their own. They can also be combined. You can use 2 of the 3, 1 of the 3, 3 of the 3, but I love them all. Another Rimmel product that I've been using non-stop since it launched is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. So this has been out for a very long time, but they recently stepped out of the beige tunnel that they were in for a little while there and have released some deeper shades, which is so exciting. So if you have deeper skin and you wanted to try this powder, there's shades that are deeper than this to actually powder your face with, but I have been using this Pecan shade non-stop as a bronzer. It is just a really beautiful shade of bronzer. It's easy to use, it's buildable because it doesn't have too much pigmentation in there. Some bronzers can be really strong. I prefer a less pigmented bronzer so I can kind of go in and bronze. It's got that matte formula. It looks really good on the skin. It lasts well. I've got tons of videos on bronzers for my skin tone if you're a similar skin tone and have a hard time, but in general, be sure to look in the powder aisle because if you can find a powder that's a little bit deeper, they can act as great bronzers as well. I mean, a powder is a powder for the most part. This is another line that I've loved for a while, and I go back in between. My favorite blushes be the NYX Sweet Cheeks matte blushes and this is the one I've been, this shade specifically I've been reaching for a lot lately, and this is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Vintage Rouge. I love their bronzers too and their highlighters. I reach for those a ton, but this is what has been on my desk, and this is just a perfect shade. It really goes with everything, whether I want to build it up and have a little bit of a brighter cheek but still nothing crazy, or if I just want something more subtle because I've got a pretty bold eye or bold lip. It just kind of goes with everything. I mean, I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of the bulky packaging. I believe it's kind of in place because the formula is a little bit delicate, so I think it helps to protect it a little bit. But yeah, the product inside again has a really high-end feel because drugstore blushes to me have lacked for a long time, but they're finally on the come up. These two products are some of the newer that I'm going to be mentioning today. I did use these in a recent Get Ready With Me, which I will link to down below, but I'm a huge fan and debated including the NYX Naturally Radiant Foundation. I reviewed that and I was really excited to see that they've launched some more products. I've yet to try the concealer, but this NYX High Glass Finishing Powder is really unique to me. I don't think there's much out there like it at the drugstore. It has quite a strong satin finish, so it wouldn't be my first pick for those of you with really textured skin or really oily skin if you're looking for something that's going to look a little bit more smooth on the skin. But at the same time, the satin finish can look smoothing. It just depends on your skin. Like obviously if you have smoother skin and you put something less matte, you're gonna get that really nice glowy smooth look. If you are always afraid of powders, feel like they make you look cakey, make you look dry, I think this is a good option to try. But I did kind of compare it in my video to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. I feel like that one still gives a little bit more of an airbrush look and is a little more forgiving in the sense that it's more of a satin matte, so it gives a little bit more smoothing ability, and that one I would recommend, not necessarily for super oily people because it's not going to keep your oils totally at bay, but it would be a better option. But this to me is just a really unique powder if you're kind of the person who hates powders or like a more glowy look. You can see it in action in the video. I thought that this did a good job. No like glitter in it. And then I also wanted to mention the High Glass Illuminating Powder. This has almost a bouncy cushion feel to it. Remember when bouncy things were so popular? This one is in the shade Daytime Halo. And yeah, it just gives a really gorgeous look. Again, I used it in that Get Ready With Me, and it is quite a bright highlighter. Like it really pops on the cheeks, but it also isn't full of glitter or like anything textured. So if you're looking for something really, really bright but doesn't have chunks in it, it's a great option. And then another one that I wanted to mention is from Essence. I've been reaching for this nonstop since it launched, the Essence Pure Nude Sunlighter. I mentioned this in my recent highlighters for a more natural finish that are good for textured skin, acne prone skin, even mature skin. If you are in the market for something that makes you look glowy but it's not like a stripe on your cheek or no glitter, no shimmer even, this is a really good drugstore option, and the Sunlighter is the one that I would recommend for a little bit deeper skin, and then they have the highlighter if you're a little bit more fair skin. Quick mention, I forgot to mention the Makeup Revolution Bake & Blot Powder. This has been my favorite under eye powder for a very long time now in the shade Banana. I actually had someone comment on a video a little while back and they said, I really like this powder even though I don't like baking. And I would not consider this, like, baking is a technique, not a formula in my opinion. So I just set my under eyes with it like any other product in case there was any confusion. If you're like, oh, I don't like the look of baking, because baking never worked out for me no matter how hard I tried. It looked gray, it looked dry, I looked aged. There was maybe 2 times where it looked successful. So you don't need to like bake with it. It's just called Bake and Blot Powder. You can set your face with it. There's a ton of shades. But the other thing from e.l.f. that I wanted to mention is one of their bite-size eyeshadow palettes. This one is in the shade Hot Jalapeno. This was my standout for sure. These cost $3. I have a full 4 looks, 4 eyeshadow palettes. I picked up 4 of them, spent the big bucks, but this was definitely the one that stuck out to me the most. Greens are popping up more in palettes, but they're continually disappointing, especially matte greens showing up on my skin tone can look brown, gray, anything but green, but these showed up like a beautiful green, and then you're getting an incredibly nice metallic green, and then I love pairing green and gold together, so I think the gold in here is a gorgeous, gorgeous touch. Yeah, and absolutely, like, I loved the Fenty Snap Shadow palettes, but if you wanted to get those and you were like, my budget does not account for that, or you're just like, want it all, these are great, and the green in here to me is better than the Fenty. I'm sorry, Rihanna, but it is. I want to give it just a quick shout out to these lip products that I'm wearing right now. These are again from the Milani Salt and Pepper collection. This lip liner is gorgeous. Milani makes one of my favorite lip liners in the shade Brandy, which I believe they've discontinued here in Canada anyways. But this is their understatement lip liner in Shoop, and it is the perfect kind of brownie shade. I recommend introducing lip liner into your life if you haven't. I know I had this kind of vision of what lip liner is, but I almost always wear it, and I don't think that you can really tell, especially if you have trouble making lipsticks work. Similar to mascaras, think about mixing things, combining things to make them work better for you. So I always outline the outline of my lips and then kind of fill in the corners a little bit. The formula on this was really gorgeous, but specifically the shade. And then I am using the lipstick in the shade Shoop, and I think it looks amazing. But I did just try these for the first time. The lip product that I do want to mention to you, however, is the Burt's Bees liquid lipsticks. These have been around for a while, and the original formulas, Tidal Taupe, Petal something or other, so good, but they have launched some new shades. So these two are in Pouring Nude Sunrise Cruise. I love them on their own, I love them together. I've got a lip swatch video of their new 6 shades from Instagram, like maybe back in December or January. I'll link them down below, but so good. The formula is really creamy, it's hydrating, it's not a matte liquid lipstick, it's like a liquefied lipstick, really, really comfortable. And the original, like, I'm telling you, I don't know that maybe the Maybelline Nudes collection, but I don't know that I've ever seen a better selection of nude lipsticks from any brand, from my skin tone at least, that don't need lip liner, they need no fussing. Incredible selection of shades from them in the original formula, and I love the new ones too. So yeah, that is everything that I've been loving from the drugstore lately. Let me know down below what your favorite drugstore items are. I mean, I will always be a girl of the drugstore, I don't care. I mean, they've continued to step up the game, but even when the game was not so strong, I was there cheering them on. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!